Hi there and welcome to this quick walkthrough on the Debtor Edit Screen. Now with the recent update, you will notice that there are some changes to the Debtor Edit Screen, and so in this video I want to show you exactly what has changed, why these changes were made, and how they actually make your work easier and safer. So before we jump into the system, here's what we'll cover today. I'm going to be going over the recent updates, particularly the lists that have been updated when it comes to contact and address handling. I'll also be going over the flexibility when it comes to the next of kin, the multiple medical aids that can be added, and by the end of this video, you'll find that the debtor structure updates are really in an effort to make sure that you get all your debtors information in one place, which will in turn allow for fewer errors, easier management, more organized, intuitive, and safer use. With that being said, let's get started. The first thing you'll notice is the improved user interface design. Navigation is now simpler and more intuitive. You'll also see that the features have been grouped together and related information now sits closer together on the screen. So nothing much has changed in terms of the functionality of the system, it's just the overall design that has changed. So let's go over the screen. Firstly, we've got our data details, we still have our status section over here, we've got our copy to entity section, and we've got our import to data section. Moving on to the account details. The account details is still the same. You still got your file number, you still got your system generated number there as well. You can still add your treating practitioners from the list, or you could type them in. Same with the referring practitioner. Default service centers, the drop down is still there as well. The linking of the diary is also here as well. Moving over to the demographic details, nothing has changed here as well. We still got all the fields for the demographic details as they were. Now the contact and address details, the fields are still the same. The addition has been now added with the list. Okay, and the list is here at the contact and address details. It's also here at the medical aid details, and you also have a list on the related parties. Now when it comes to these two sections, the medical aid and the contact and address details, you'll find that the list has now added an add new button, so you can add more contact points for your debtor directly on the list screen. So firstly, you select the system, what type of contact point it is. For instance, we can go over to email, can select home use, the value, and we can also rank by order of importance. You'll also have the start and the end date to show when this email started taking effect. And for example, we can put the start date to today, and this previous email that we have, we can then open that and we can then select the end date of that email for today. So then you'll see that this was the end date for this email address, and this was the start date for this new email address that we have now. Okay, the same concept then works for the address list. You can come over and add your new address list, and you could add a start and end date to this address list if it is a temporary residence. Now people may be relocating, or they may be on vacation, whatever the case may be, you can then populate all the information over here without affecting any of the information that is here on the front of screen. Okay, so you've got your primary information over here, and then everything that is on the list can act as supporting or additional records, so that we have all the patient's information in one place. The same concept then applies with the medical aid as well, where this is the primary information, but you can then also add multiple medical aids under one patient so that the history stays intact and duplication is reduced. So you can come over and add a new medical aid here. We can select one from the list, give it a medical aid number, dependent, select what kind of insurance it is. If this medical aid is in effect from today, we can select then today's date, and then we can consequently put a start and end date to the previous medical aid. So if we say just a year ago on the same day up until today is how long that medical aid was in effect for. We mark this medical aid inactive, save it, and we'll see that that medical aid is now inactive, and that is the medical aid in force. And so the start and the end dates help identify the active medical aid and prevent any billing errors. And now, because we added our new medical aid and we've inactivated the other medical aid, you'll see that that information is now translated to the front of screen and serves as our primary information. Below that, we've got then the employment and financial details. Nothing has changed there. The next of kin field, or the related parties field, is now more flexible. You can include different related parties, and you can clearly define the relationship. And for this example, I'll be using the power of attorney. Now, the power of attorney will allow another individual to act on behalf of the patient when making medical decisions. And of course, the supporting documentation must then be received and saved on hand. You can add the person's details, and then once again you can add the start and the end date of the power of attorney, so we know exactly how long that POA is in effect for. Alright, so you've got one of two options. For next of kin and guarantor, you can add the details here, and if you want to specify the relationship and add other related parties, you can then go over to add related party, and you can categorize the type of relationship. Maybe it's a caregiver for the elderly. You can categorize the relationship there, and this then allows for clearer admin, and it drastically reduces risk for the debtor or patient as well. Now, going over to the patient detail side, we still have our add authorization for us to add our authorization code. Nothing has changed there. We also have our add new patient. Our button is still there as well, and the printing of our labels. Below that, we still have our patient list and all our dependents. Now, the action items here, you'll see that the validating of benefit check is now here. We can still then link the patient's inactive or previous files here. So for an example, if Natalia Turner was Timothy Turner's old or inactive file, we could also link that file over here, and we could have all the patient or debtor's information together in one place. Below that, we still have the patient details copy from debtor, so we can then still simply copy all the patient details over to the debtor side. We've got the dependent details there as well, and the contact and address details work the same as they do on the debtor details side. So we've got the option to copy the contact directly from the debtor details. We've also got the option to copy the address details over to this side as well, and then those contact point lists and those address lists can also be independent for the patient as well. So if we add any information, that contact point list will be independent for the patient. And finally, we have the gap cover. The gap cover will work the same as the medical aid details. And so overall, the debtor structure is now more streamlined, and all the patient and debtor information can live in one place, eliminating the need for multiple data files, which in turn reduces any billing errors while making record management easier. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next tutorial video.